Hello, friends. I brought this drawing that I made the other night on a watercolor pad from Hanemula. And I was sitting upstairs and I was just drawing a portrait. I don't really feel like this is an oomph in any way. It doesn't have, it's not particularly good, and I'm not feeling precious about this. So I'm going to try to add other media to this to make it a little bit more special. This watercolor pad isn't great for watercolor. It's the Hanemule anniversary pad. It's very soft cellulose paper. So if you want to use this paper for watercolor paintings, you have to be aware that it's gonna tear very easily with even with soft washi tape, uh, or especially with masking fluid. This is not the paper for that, but this is a very cheap paper. And I was sitting upstairs and I just reached for what I had close to me, which was this pad. So I'm going to try to improve upon this, see what happens. We are going to add a lot of gold from golden acrylic. This is the iridescent fine. I haven't used it much. I'm not entirely sure how well it will perform. And we are going to use gouache, Winsor & Newton Designer's gouache. Now, as we're going to start this, we are just going to go into some music and painting.
I saw you before the old fox could dig, and I knew you'd be worth all my son could give, skirting around in the night, preparing a din that feels just right. No, not my son, no place to call home, 'cause he knew you'd give him one. I loved you before the old bird could sing, I knew then your heart would be worth a king, flying around in the morn, building their nests to keep them warm. No, not my son, no warmth of his own, 'cause he knew you'd give him some. Wrapped up in your love is where I belong. And the place I call home is here in your song. 'cause baby, I'm begging for your love. I said, baby, please, I want it all, not just a piece. It is the cure of my disease. I want it all, but not just a piece. Ooh. Your love is my cure, I'm sick. Lay your heart and mind stick. Baby, it would be so lit. Two hearts, one beat. Oh, just think about it. Oh, don't be afraid about it. Oh, think about it, 'cause baby, I'm begging for your love. I said, baby, please, I want it all, not just a piece. It is the cure of my disease. I want it all,
this is the finished piece from what I was working on. I'll walk you through what I did. So it started as a pure colored pencil drawing of this face. And I wanted to do something else. I wanted to like elevate the fact that she has the sun in her face, which is why I chose to use the golden acrylic iridescent gold. I have not used this before. This is a recent purchase, but it was really nice to add this to watercolor paper. It's it went on very smoothly, and I like the effect of the pencil strokes with this. I also chose to add this as a highlighter on her lips, her nose, and adding some into her hair, making it bringing the gold from the sun ray into her hair and face as well. I also used Winsor & Newton designer gouache to make the areas in the background here, like the ordinary kind of skyish color is just the cobalt turquoise light, and then I mixed a slightly darker version of that by primary blue to kind of have a shade area from where the sun is hitting her, the shade that would form from that. Nothing realistic, but just fun. Then I used a paint marker. This is an edding. It is not as good as a Posca, but I couldn't find a single white Posca anywhere in my house. So I used that to make line art on the sun side of her face. I continued with line art with sky blue in this turquoise area. And then I finished that up with line art in Posca blue in this area that's darker. Surprises along the way, except from all the times I touched wet paint. That was, I'm very blue. um, when I was adding the kind of more shadow layer of gouache in the background, I got this effect of kind of like pock marks, which surprised me a little bit because I didn't water this down a lot. This was a fairly heavy gouache layer, and I would have thought that would kind of build easily, but it didn't. Apart from that, I'm happy with how this turned out. One of the reasons I did this is because I have so many times I finish the work of art and I don't feel like it's great, I just chuck it out. And normally I don't feel very precious about my finished pieces. So I thought that instead of thinking that this was something I would just chuck out, why don't I try to add something to it to both to practice adding all of these other things into a painting, but also to see if I could make something that I liked more. I'm not entirely sure about this area here, but I do like a lot of the other effects. I really, really enjoyed adding the acrylic to this, and I'm going to keep testing out how to add acrylics to more things because the effect of that was really nice. So I hope if you guys have something you're not feeling very satisfied with, don't throw it out. Add something else. Add um, pastels, acrylic, squash, whatever you need. Even if you don't like the end result, you will have practiced adding other things. You will have practiced with materials that you might not use as much. So hopefully you guys will try to do that and have fun with what you're making and not be as judgmental to our own art as we tend to be. Bye, friends!